Welcome to the hot seat.
Hey everyone, welcome to Hot Seat, where the questions are hot.
And we're trying our best. Today we have Matt on the show. Super glad to have you on with us.
I was gonna say, I feel like I'm positioned low and you guys are positioned kind of high, like you're looking down on me. And so it makes it feel, the hot seat feels even extra hot.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Sorry.
That's what we're trying to apply the pressure.
Yeah.
You know, we've got the
We've
bright
got
lights.
interrogation lights and cameras and and an Arnett on either side of me. What is this?
You should feel super comfortable right now.
You guys have all kinds of inside, jokes.
Telepathic communication.
The reason we needed to sit you lower is so that we can give looks to each other.
Right, I know. I can see that you.
No, it's so I can do the wrap it up signal to Jackson.
And we're super glad to have you on, though. And the whole goal of the show is to help people get to know you better. Okay. We've got an audience of about a dozen nosy people out there who they want to know the ins and outs, They
Taking notes on a yellow pad.
Yes, exactly. You can see them accurately. I see what you're seeing. So here's where we'll start. We start this spot with everybody. Tell us about the family you grew up in, your parents, siblings, what your parents did for work, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, my name is Matt Callum, Matthew John Coulombe, and was born in 1972. I'm not going to tell my whole life story, but 72
you can, if you want to.
Is where I hit the atmosphere in Santa Barbara, California. My dad was a pastor, and really, even though he's retired, he still acts like a pastor. He still has that deep in his soul. So I grew up as a PK, and it was me and my brother Tim, who is just under 2 years younger than me. And we had the privilege of getting to live in paradise for the first 15 years of my life. Grew up in the church and knew nothing but it really for that whole those formative years growing up. My dad was an associate pastor at Calvary Baptist Church in Santa Barbara, and so we grew up, just with all of our blood family. Through my mom and dad, they were all up in Oregon. So we really had no blood family in Santa Barbara other than mom, dad, and my brother. And so, but because of the church environment we grew up in, it was like the family, when family was absent. So we had, adoptive, grandparents and uncles and didn't call them cousins, but they were like cousins, just people that became your, for all practical purposes, those kinds of figures in your life. And my mom and dad were very intentional about wanting to create that for us since our real grandparents were hundreds of miles away. So,
is that because your parents were both from Oregon?
They were both they lived in Oregon. They left for Biola back whenever that was, and never went home.
They met in Oregon.
They were like classmates, in Pendleton, Oregon. And so they had known each other since like 5th or 6th grade.
How crazy.
Were they already dating when they went to Biola?
They were dating in junior high, high school.
We have that story too of our parents. It sets you up really, your expectations for how people meet each other.
Right.
They're not accurate.
Yeah, you're looking at your 5th and 6th grade classmates like,
is my spouse here?
Is this my future wife? Yeah. So my dad left for, graduated high school, moved down to, he did some things, I think, like other than college before that. But anyway, long story short, he moved down to Biola, and my mom followed the year after. And so that's what got the Coulombe family into California.
So where did you guys go? You said you lived in Santa Barbara till you were about 15, is that right?
Yes.
And then where next?
So then we moved. My dad took a position with one of his heroes, Chuck Swindoll, at EV Free Fullerton. So he had just a dream opportunity to join the staff there, and so our little family uprooted, and it was like at the time one of the most difficult things I had to go through, which puts, I know that people have way more difficult things to go through, but for a 15-year-old who's only known a certain location for as long as he did, to have to uproot and start over,
Santa Barbara, beautiful, by the ocean.
And
I'm not saying Fullerton's
church members that are like family.
And then church members who are like and then just a highly introverted kid who I probably needed every bit of those 15 years just to get established in friendships, and had finally kind of gotten to a real sweet spot.
It's like, and you're leaving.
Yeah, and then we moved. So, yeah, we moved to Brea. I guess it was in like '87, so somewhere around there, and got involved in a youth group of about, the size of the youth group was about 600 students. You know, larger than the church that I grew up in.
Yeah, that's
but,
wild.
But with that came lots of really cool opportunities that I wouldn't have had if we were still living in, you know, our little small-ish town, you know, small church environment. So got exposed to just missions. You know, we would do regular Mexico trips down to Ensenada every month, and got to go to Brazil, which is, you know, where I know some of our fellow staff members are from. I've got one Portuguese phrase that I used on this individual, who is actually in the room right now. Sauter, he's behind the camera, and he kind of did a double take that I would actually know.
What's your phrase?
What's going on?
What does it mean?
Cara doido demais. Which basically just means, wow, that's crazy. I didn't know what it meant though, and he was sitting in prayer with me. And,
Wow, that's risky to say.
yeah, and so I just put it out, and I was getting to know
He's like,
Sauter for the very first time. Yeah, and I said that, and he kind of did a double take, and I said, I don't even know what I said. I could have been saying something inappropriate. I'm not sure. He said, no, you actually said, wow, that's crazy, which in the context is just the perfect thing to say.
Yeah.
Hey, that worked
so now
out.
I've used that with others as well.
Yeah.
I love
Now
it.
you've got a saying.
Yes. So anyway, so that's we were in Orange County for whatever that was,
Is
through
it
high
hard
school.
for you to imagine, considering where you grew up, even living in Orange County, that now you live in the high desert? Do you think your young self could have ever pictured?
I don't think so. I mean, I lived, you know, I mean, not too far from where we are now, but for the longest time, I did not even know that this place existed. I had a cousin who was actually fairly instrumental in us ending up here at HDC, who lived here and attended High Desert Church at the time. I did not know about High Desert Church, didn't know about the High Desert, and I think we came out here to Victorville a couple different times, but we drove over the Cajon Pass in the dark, so I had no visual reference points for the High Desert. But yeah, so who would have thunk?
Who would have thought?
Here's a hot seat question for you guys. This is just totally random. You meet someone, let's say you're at like, I don't know, a conference or something, and you're trying to describe to them where we live. I ran into this a lot. Actually, we all can relate. We all lived in Northern California.
Yep.
How do you describe to people, I guess you wouldn't have had to do that when you were up there, but when I was up there, I was trying to describe to people where the high desert is. I could not. I'm like, I don't know, it's on the way to Vegas. I have no idea how to explain it to you.
That's usually the phrase that comes out, yeah.
That's all I got.
And they're like, and for them, it's not on the way to Vegas, right? Because they wouldn't go down and then back up. So that means nothing. I usually I have now started pulling out the map on my phone, and I just zoom. I'm like, do you see that? That's where I live.
That's nice. If it's somebody in Southern California, I'm just like, you ever been to Vegas? You know, like that's where I'm going to start.
And it feels like the dumbest way to explain it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, why? Yeah. Why were you in Vegas?
I'm just on the way.
Yeah, it's an awkward
Northern
thing
California
to do.
people are the worst too, though, because they'd just be like, "Oh, so like LA."
LA,
it's like,
yeah.
I got that all the time.
Broaden it out.
This is my friend Aaliyah from LA. I'm like, yeah, I'm from LA in the same way that we're in San Francisco right now.
Yeah, it's not close.
It's
Not
so
close.
dumb to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was your favorite thing about Santa Barbara?
Let me think about this. Anytime I take my family back to Santa Barbara, I think how amazing that my mom didn't work. She was a stay-at-home mom. My dad was a poor pastor. Somehow we ended up living in this paradise place for 15 years. So I think, you know, when I go back and show my kids the house that I at least grew up in for the first 5 years of my life, we are right across the street from Shoreline Park. You can see the ocean from, you know, from the edge of our driveway. And so I think just being in that kind of a setting, you know, I've got memories of just living in that kind of a, you know, beach community. Yeah. But the thing that probably resonates deep in my soul are the other people, you know, people that even though I've, you know, lost some contact, and even though geographically we've gotten even more distance because they moved out of the state, or even passed on. You know, I just think those relationships, I got such fond memories of spending time with Grandma Croft and with Jay and Donna and with Uncle Brian, you know. And those people were part of those formative years of even me growing in a lot of ways too. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
And
My
when you
question.
take,
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, when you take your kids and your family, is there like a food spot that you're taking them to? In
That's
Santa
a great
Barbara?
question,
Oh,
Jackson.
shoot. You know what? I'm trying to think. Taffy's Pizza was there at was one of the spots that we went to. No, not really. I mean, my years there, because we were on such a tight budget, like going to Pancho Villa's and sharing meals, you know, was probably
Fine dining.
Yeah, like I don't know if I was really exposed to the finer things of, you know. Oh, I will say this: Uncle Brian, he stood in my wedding at like 72 years old, and our wedding, and but he was one of those, you know, friends who were like family, and but he would try to, you know, get my brother Tim and I to be more cultured and to really be able to appreciate the finer things. So like a typical Sunday after church, our little core family would end up at Burger King, and we would each get our own sandwich, each burger. My dad would buy the largest fry he could possibly buy, and then he'd get the largest drink that he could possibly buy, and we'd share the drink and the fries, and each get our own burger. And that was going out with the Coulombe family, which was just so humble and embarrassing at the time. So Uncle Brian would try to school us, and he was British. Did I say he was from England?
No,
so,
you did not.
So he was from England, and he was a pastor at a Covenant church in Santa Barbara, and had been, you know, a networking friend with my dad. Anyway, we adopted him in because he had no family in the area, and we didn't either. So he became like family to us. But he would take my brother Tim and I to this place called Moby Dick, which was like a seafood place, and that's where we got cultured in the finer things of dining. So like we would come home from spending time with Uncle Brian, and my mom would say, you know, how was your time away? And my brother would be like, Mom, we got fish and chips, $6.95. And we each had our own drink as well.
So pretty amazing.
Pretty amazing, yeah. It was like
Let me paint the picture for you.
Dining experience. So I think at one point we did take them back to that restaurant just to tell the story and to reminisce a little bit.
I love it. My question was, growing up so close to the beach, did you like surf? Were you in the ocean a lot as a kid?
I was in the ocean a lot. I boogie boarded. I was a wannabe. I mean, I enjoyed being at the beach. I probably, in hindsight, I was at the wrong beaches to do boogie boarding correctly. You know, we would just, you know, the waves would crash, you ride the water in. I was more of a skater at the time.
Okay.
So like the Bones Brigade and Pal Peralta, which was all based in Santa Barbara as well, what was kind of my bread and butter. So junior high and freshman, sophomore high school.
When is the last time you were on a skateboard, would you say?
It's been quite a while. I have to definitely keep all four wheels on the floor.
Sure.
There was a time, probably in the last 5 years, I had been to a skate park with one of my kids at some point. I'm probably it was further than 5 years out. Yeah, because they're all, yeah.
What's the craziest
older.
trick that you were able to do on a skateboard?
Oh, I loved skateboarding, but I was not that great at skateboarding. I could do hand plants. Pretty awesome.
What's that?
Hand plant is where you end up on one hand and you get your board
That's
above
impressive.
you and you balance.
Is that where you
your
have to
feet
be?
on the
Do you have
board.
to be like in the bowl thing to do that?
I know, but I didn't go to that level.
Okay,
Oh yeah. So, yeah. So mine was just more
Don't
street.
paint the picture too big.
Okay,
Street
sorry.
skating. Yeah. So ollies, rail slides, hand plants,
What's an ollie?
launch ramps. You know.
Cooler than I've
An ollie is basically getting air without using your hands to pull your board off
okay,
the ground.
yeah,
You
yeah,
basically jump and keep the board on your feet.
Snap it off the ground.
Snap it, yeah, pop it.
Do you have a hot take about like Tony Hawk? He's the only skateboarder right now.
I mean,
Do you care about him
he's
either
the one
way?
guy who seems to, yeah, he was in the Bones Brigade. Yeah, and he's one of those guys that somehow was able to take, he was part of the 2% that could take his, you know, his prime skateboarding days and turn it into a business and still be doing really, really well with it. Yeah, most people don't go that far.
He was like a goofy looking skateboarder.
He was.
For
He
a
was
while.
tall and lanky and kind of awkward on a board, but he could do these crazy things that people wanted to do. They looked
The
up to it.
only thing I really know about skateboarding is you used to have a Tony Hawk video game, I think. Is that true?
Yep.
And that's
That's
all
part of how he turned it into the business.
Right. Yeah,
well,
that's-
I know.
that is-
That's all
yeah.
I recall, though.
Yeah,
Is that.
pretty sweet.
Okay, our next question. Tell us a little bit about your family now.
Okay. My family now, Corey and I, my wife, we've been married for 27 years. Got married March 28, 1998 in Fullerton. And
Did you guys have a big wedding?
we had the pastor's kids have big weddings. I don't know how big your wedding was.
How big? How many did you have?
I think there were like 900 people at our wedding.
Oh my gosh,
That is huge.
that's crazy.
That's a really big
In
wedding.
hindsight, I don't know. I don't think
I
that
had
was
like
necessary.
165.
Yeah, no, there were 900 people.
Parents
850
are
to
just
900 people.
so sweet. They don't have a no bone in their body. They're just like, yes.
Exactly.
Yes,
So all inclusive, everyone's invited. That was for the ceremony.
Yeah.
The reception, I think we were at about 400,
That's still
which
a
is
lot.
still giant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
wild.
so yeah.
Here's a question though. Like I know your daughter's in the midst of wedding planning right now.
Yes.
As you think about a reception, like weddings, they add up pretty quickly.
They
Cost
do.
does.
They do.
So when I think through a reception, like do you remember if you served a full meal
We
at your
served
wedding?
a full meal. I remember the chicken was dry.
Wonderful. I mean, it's
I
hard to
wasn't
get
that
food
impressed-
right for 400
yeah,
people.
I wasn't that impressed with the meal, but I also wasn't
We don't care
focused
that much.
on the meal. I didn't
sure,
care, you know?
sure.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, that's just wild.
Yeah, so that was that, and yeah,
400 people. Wow.
yeah. So, we got married, and about 3 years later, we had our first son, Brandon, and then less than a couple of years later, we had another son, Brian, and then a little bit after that, we had a daughter named Morgan, and then Evan was the surprise child who came, within 4 kids within 5 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's a
So-
lot.
So we got married in Fullerton. We moved up to Sacramento, and we were doing youth ministry up there. And Brian and Brandon were both born
Okay.
up there. And then when we moved down to the high desert, Corey was pregnant with Morgan, and had her soon after we got here in January. We moved here in November of 2004. She was born in January.
Wow.
And then Evan came around. Yeah.
Okay, so here's my question. You had your first 2 boys, both names that start with the letter B.
Right.
Were you intentionally was it just, it kind of happened, you liked both those names?
Mm-hmm.
Or were you like,
Because
we're
it seems
definitely
like you're heading
on
down
a trajectory
road
that
there.
all your
Brandon,
kids' names are start with the letter
I don't
B?
even remember how we ended up with Brandon. Brian was named after Uncle Brian.
Oh, cool.
Our English
Yeah.
uncle.
That makes more sense.
So
now.
Yeah.
so that was a namesake. And then Morgan came. She was either going to be like Elizabeth Joy or Morgan Elizabeth.
Okay.
And we ended up with Morgan Elizabeth. And then when Evan came, it was a derivative of John, my dad's name, and his middle name Edward is my father-in-law's.
Wait, how is
middle
Evan
name.
a derivative of John?
I don't know.
Okay.
You just got to trust it.
This
you
is
gotta
new for
trust
me.
it, yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So all to say, they all ended up with uns at the end. Brandon,
Ah.
Brian, Morgan, Evan.
Oh.
That was not intentional. That was
I'm
the way it worked out.
I'm the only one in our family without an at the end.
mhm.
Jackson, Kendall, and Ellison. Aaliyah.
Oh,
Aaliyah.
I'm also the only one with no shortened. You know, you have Jack,
Al?
Kendi,
Did they
Ellie.
call you Al?
They call me no.
No.
They
Allie?
don't call me that.
Lolly.
My
But
dad
Lolly.
calls me
Basically the
that.
same.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So-
yeah.
You guys can't call me that, so
Yeah.
don't try. People try. You can't.
Don't do it.
Okay. Family of origin. Tell
Hobbies.
us about your hobbies. Tell us what you like to do when you're not working.
Okay. I love being outside. Our family loves being outside. And so we'll usually, we've hiked a lot of areas. You might not think the desert is a hiking place, and
Right.
it probably ultimately isn't that great of a hiking place. There are much better places to hike, but we have explored.
You can hike anywhere if you really try.
We've explored a lot of places out here, but Big Bear, my sons and I have done like an annual. This will be the third annual. The older they get, the further out they go, the harder it is to keep that tradition going. But we've done like a Eastern Sierras backpacking trip, which has been a ton of fun for me to connect with the guys as they're getting older and see some new spots and push myself physically. You know, Brian is our adventurer, so he's usually the one who's going, you know, to I don't know, All Trails, I guess is the name of the app, to find a cool new spot for us to go to. So we've been to some really cool spots in the Eastern Sierras that have now become really great memories for us. But yeah, hiking is something we love doing.
Is there any like fishing involved when you guys are you like
there
mainly
is
just hiking?
Any kind of success that came as a result, you know, of the outlet of fishing did not come from me. I think on our first trip they caught, well, collectively between Brandon, Brian, Evan, and myself, we caught 29 fish.
Wow.
At Blue Lake. I caught one of them, and they caught the remaining. I was never that dad who, hey, son, come under my wing. Let me show you how to do this. Show you how to properly, you know, I don't even know what the term is.
Bait a hook?
Tie the hook, string the hook. I'm using the wrong terms.
We don't know, so it's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, they were the ones that really, hey Brian, can you get my hook to tie my hook? Yeah.
Help me out.
Set up my rig.
Do you guys like eat the fish?
We do, yes.
But I can't imagine you ate 29.
We did not eat 29.
Throwing a lot of them back, I would guess.
Eastern High Sierra fish are usually smaller, you know, but if you can get, you know, some bigger ones in there, yeah, we definitely took them home and took them back to the campsite and cooked them up. That was part of the experience.
So being outside, big hobby, anything else?
I mean, nothing crazy. I mean, I like guitar gear. You know, I'm not for as much as I always have a guitar in my hand on a weekend, I'm not like an amazing guitarist, but I like, you know, exploring the realms of guitar tone and
how many guitars do you own?
And gear and all that. I'm modest. I've got 2 acoustics and 2 electrics.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there are guys that have gone way crazier than I have, but I would say that that's probably still a hobby. I like working in the yard.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if that qualifies as a hobby.
It absolutely does.
It's part of the routine maintenance of just owning a home, but for me, it's therapeutic to, you know.
Are we talking like weeding there?
Oh, I had the hula hoe is something you have to do, you know, in the high desert. I don't consider that
that's
therapeutic.
That's a chore.
That's a chore. That's not therapeutic for me, but you know, working in the backyard, planting things.
Do you have a bit of a green thumb? Like, are you good with plants?
I mean, maybe I'm okay.
You're trying to be humble.
Yeah. Gotta go do much. Yeah. So
seems like he's good.
Yeah, it does.
I'm not epic.
Do you guys do any
it.
plants like for produce? Like, do you grow any like tomato plants?
We don't grow our own food. Yeah.
So it's just for the aesthetics.
We've got a couple fruit trees that the birds love, and so
delicious treats for them.
Yeah. So I have not figured out how to. I haven't taken much time to really make that part of the thing, but just making the backyard look nice.
I love it.
You know. Yeah. Doing things.
Do you have a like local trail spot that you frequent for a hike?
Oh yeah.
We've got I mean, in Apple Valley, we do Bell Mountain and we do the Hilltop.
Nice.
Yeah. So those are just
those are the
things,
regular ones.
Those are things that we hit more often when we don't have time to get out of town.
What's your temperature range? Like, I'll hike in, like if it's colder than this or hotter than this, we're not going to go hiking.
I mean, anything pushing 95 is too hot. Yeah, though we have done the Deep Creek hike out to the rocks where my kids will jump off the rocks. And so that always has the kind of the treasure at the end where you can have a cool down spot at the end of the hike.
Some refreshment there. Yeah.
Okay, last hiking question.
I'm like, we're popcorning all over the place.
That's how this goes.
Yeah. Someone's going to be watching. How long is this thing going for? Man, when are we going to get to the point?
This is the point.
This is the point.
Okay, so my question is, do you do any hiking snacks? Like, do you bring snacks on the hike? Most of my questions are related to food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably some trail mix involved. There's probably some.
I was gonna say you have to do trail mix,
some,
right? You're on a trail.
grass-fed beef sticks. You know,
Hey,
that always works
fancy.
well. Portable. You don't need any kind of refrigeration, and of course water. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Yeah.
Do you pre-mix? Like, is it a pre-mix trail mix, or are you making your own?
Did you ask these same questions with the other guys?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So wait, pre-mix or post-mix?
Yeah, you making your own.
Yeah.
Really, what we're getting at is, does your trail mix have chocolate in it? Does it have
we
M&Ms?
just probably buy the standard Costco
Right.
Just a Costco
trail
trail
mix.
Great.
That's fair.
And if I want to,
That's what the audience wants
if I
to
want to
know.
add something else into it to, add some pepitos, let's do that.
Let's get crazy.
Let's notch it up. Let's take it up and elevate this thing.
I like it.
So.
Oh, I love it.
All right, moving on from hiking.
Okay. What is your first memory?
Oh shoot.
Bit of a left turn.
Well, started out as a zygote in the womb. Embryonic fluid. No, I don't know. First memory.
Like, what's just the farthest back you can
remember,
think?
How far back can you remember your first memory?
You know what? This is so bad to say because I think my first memory is when I'm like 5 years old, which seems kind of old.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't have, I know when we do categorical, like what's the best this, the worst this, the first, just the earliest one you can think of right now.
The one that comes to my mind immediately is, and sometimes I think that my memories are really not true memories. It's because
It's a
there
picture,
was a picture.
right? I know.
But the picture that came in my head was me in a like a hiking backpack, with my dad carrying me on the beach, right by our house where we grew up, and there was like the equivalent of a scarecrow that was made out of old seaweed.
Oh.
A seaweed man on
wow.
the beach, and I don't know. That's the memory that came
Hey,
to my mind.
that would stick
I know
out.
it's random.
No, it's
but,
perfect.
But yeah, it was me and my dad.
To be fair, it was
walking
a
on the
random
beach,
question. So.
Yeah.
And
You never know what you're going to get
You
there.
never know what you're going to get.
It's so true. It's hard with those early ones to tell the difference.
Yeah,
If that's
it's just a picture
that I saw that I kind of
Yeah,
like
right.
now I associate stories with it, or is it a real memory? It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
You're musical. When did you learn that you were musical? When did you find that out?
Yeah.
I took piano lessons when I was a little kid, probably in, I don't know, 8, 9,
Okay.
something like that.
Do you know, was that because you wanted to, or your parents were like, we
my
want you to
parents
do this?
enrolled me in that
Okay.
program. Yeah, Mrs. Reisick was my piano teacher. She was the organist at Calvary Baptist Church where I grew up, and so there was a natural connection point. The problem is I liked piano enough. I probably took lessons for about 5 years, but I didn't practice. I don't know. I never excelled at it. I wish I would have spent more time, giving more
Applying yourself
discipline
to it.
and attention to that category.
Did your brother also do lessons?
He did, and he was worse than I was.
Okay.
Yeah. But then we joined the band in junior high.
Okay.
And Mr. Vander Ark was my band director at La Colina Junior High. And so I started playing the trumpet in 7th grade.
Oh, cool.
And played that all through junior high and high school. And
Do you think you still could?
it's been a long time. Yeah, my embouchure would need to get back in order. Yeah.
Do you own a trumpet?
I do. It's kind of destroyed though. I took it out of the case at one point, used it as a decorative thing, and it fell and broke.
Oh.
Yeah, from high above. So,
Yeah.
So anyway, that was foolish on my part, but yeah, I still have it, and
Yeah.
I haven't been able to release it, because of sentimental purposes probably. But started playing guitar in high school, my freshman year of high school.
You teach yourself?
I did. My friend David Vonderay taught me Stew Ball the Racehorse, which involved 3 chords.
Okay.
I love it.
And so I learned that song, and then by the time we moved from Santa Barbara to Orange County, I started having opportunities to play in the worship team, and so that was really where, my musical interest started to. I mean, I loved being in the band. I was a band geek for those 6 years. And
Was it like
enjoyed that.
marching band?
It was marching band
That's
with
awesome.
the
That's
Q-tip,
awesome.
Q-tip Shako
Yeah.
heads, and you know, marching
And
in
you were in
parades.
then 2 different bands there because mid-high school you moved, right? So
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What instrument did your brother play?
he played the trombone. So
Okay.
we were holding down the brass section.
Nice.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I've heard that marching band is a workout. Like you're,
I mean, we didn't have to take PE classes for that reason, but I don't know if it's a workout, but you know,
yeah.
Yeah.
you get that glide step going, you know, for long enough. You know,
What is
they're
a
gonna-
glide step?
I'm not going to demonstrate it.
I was trying.
It's almost like a forward moonwalk.
He knew that was where you were
It's
taking it.
it's a forward moonwalk so that your shoulders don't, you know, bop up and down when you're marching
How
down the
long
street.
would that take to master? If I was curious, like if I wanted to.
I don't know, Aaliyah. I mean, I probably had it mastered within the first, you know, semester of junior high.
Okay, so
Yeah, it's not
So
that
quick.
difficult.
in
It's not that-
adulthood, about a year.
It's just a rolling technique with your feet. Yeah. Anyway, it's all
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Speaking of feet,
Oh shoot.
you're wearing your Chuck Taylors today.
We're so glad you did.
Yes, because we want to know, where did this start?
I think I've been wearing Chuck Taylors since 1989.
Wow.
Maybe even 88. It's been a long time.
Early.
And
was it
why
like-
am I still wearing them? I don't, you know, I mean, I'm a creature of habit. I've tried to switch it up a few times and it just doesn't feel right or look right. In fact, you made a comment at one point. Of course, I was wearing Hokas when you made the comment,
You were.
which are already, you know,
Those are,
what was the word
well,
you used?
It's a 180 turn.
You
They're
used a
chunky.
word. What was your word? They're startling? No, it was like jarring.
Yes, it was jarring. You know, you wear these like thin Chuck Taylors all the time. Now you got this
go out in
chunky
public
foam.
with a pair of Hokas, and
We know
especially-
you got that arch support.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Jackson, you're like, Matt, after seeing you in Chucks every day, man, it's just jarring to see you
Yeah.
wear
Caught my attention.
wear those cloud, you know,
Yeah.
soles, you know, that are 2.5 inches thick. So yeah, that started a long time ago.
Yeah. And now it's become just part of the
I guess so.
Is it always the black Chucks?
It
Do
hasn't
you-
always been the black.
But that's pretty much what you've
the
stayed
OG
with.
was like a pair of lime green ones.
Oh, nice.
Like the very first one you ever got?
Well, the first pair was teal that I dyed bleached white
oh, love
because
that.
they were too bright. For
Oh,
me.
okay.
And then they just
And always
kinda-
high tops? Do you do a low top very much?
No, I just high tops and then the Oxfords and then back to the high tops.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
So you played around with
This
it a
is the
little bit.
kind of stuff that I don't think people really care much about.
Oh,
but
you
anyway.
doubt with these 12 people.
Oh,
I'm going to have you
absolutely.
go back and look at the, the metrics to see at what
You
point
think when we asked about
did
Chucks,
they
they
drop
just click off?
Who's here? Who's
They're
still
like
here?
pass. They're like
Comment
pass.
down below
Who
if you're
is
still here.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to ask the next
Yeah,
one?
I'll ask the next
Okay.
one. Tell us, you mentioned some youth ministry stuff up in Northern California and stuff like that. What would you say is your craziest ministry story?
Oh man, let me think. First of all, people might not know that you and I worked at the same church.
We did.
Like years removed from each
Years
other.
apart.
So I started doing youth ministry in Fullerton and then went up to Creekside Church in Roseville. Craziest ministry story. Oh, this one's fun. There was at the EV Free Fullerton youth group. I oversaw the class of 1999. So I followed them as freshmen and followed them up through their senior year. But there was a character student who I loved and still love. It's been a while since I've been in touch with him. But Charlie Pecaro, his family was like, New York, Brooklyn, Italian. And they all made their way out to Fullerton. They owned like a pizzeria in Fullerton, and so they were about as
you do if you come from
yeah,
New York.
right,
No, for
yeah.
sure.
So Vincenzo's Pizza, was it Vincenzo's Pizza? Anyway, but this is the family he came out of.
Okay.
I think they've got like mob history and
Oh,
stuff
cool,
like that
cool.
too. So there was all that.
Genuine New
So
Yorkers.
Charlie Pecoraro, and I can remember we would take our kids, to go skiing and snowboarding on the Friday before winter camp. Up at Snow Valley, Snow Summit in Big, because we'd be doing the winter camp at a Big Pine Summit in Big Bear, and I can remember going up the ski lift, getting ready to hit another run, and I look down, and Charlie Pecoraro, all the cool kids are riding snowboards. He's on the old school skis. He's wearing a like metallic, reflective trench coat. He's got a bright red scarf. He's got like, you know, the British driver's cap.
Okay, nice.
You're not going to lose him, that's for sure.
And then this is the best part, and a cigar in his mouth. And he's smoking a cigar as he's going down the slopes, and he's all by himself. He has no friends with him at the moment, and he's just laughing hysterically at himself. And I'm like, note to self, I need to connect with Charlie sometime today to let him know that he can't be doing this at youth group winter camp. But that was a memory that was, I don't know if that was the craziest thing that I did. That was
sure.
That
stands out.
That was a fun thing that stood out for me.
What was his rationale behind when you talked to him about smoking?
He just marched to his own beat,
Yeah.
and kind of, you know, he was respectable enough, but he was, you know, he
doing
wasn't a
his own
rebellious kid. He was just doing what he probably did with, you know,
like,
his mob Italian family at home, you know. So
like
please don't, mob, if you're hearing this and his family is part of the mob, please don't come after us.
So
Please.
Anyway.
Okay, I have a question. This is another random one. I'm wondering if you do like crossword puzzles or Sudoku, because your mind must be like a steel trap. Your dates, names, locations, you like got them all, like right there.
I don't do Sudoku. Is that how you say it? Sudoku?
I don't
crossword
know.
puzzles? No. I mean, I can.
You just have a good memory.
I can enjoy a good crossword puzzle here and there, but no, not my.
Do you feel like you have a good memory?
I have a decent memory with like random facts
Yeah.
Okay.
of my own experience.
Sure.
When it comes to recall of any other like important thing, not as much so.
I'm just impressed by your like first name, last name. This is the year. This is the place.
I feel like
know.
I've heard Matt say before, like he wishes he could use that in different areas of
I
memory.
wish I could
but
apply
it's like-
that stupid human trick reality to actually important things. But
yeah, he remembers the funnest stuff.
No, it's so
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, I have our next question. I want to hear more about how you and your wife Corey met,
Okay.
and what was your strategy, maybe, of winning her over.
Okay. I went up to, this must have been 94-ish, summer of 94, I think is what it was. Because I went up, anyway, I'm doing all the chronology in my head, to get there. But I think it was summer of 94. My brother was working up at Pine Summit Christian Camp in Big Bear, and I went up to just to hang out with him for a day. And when I showed up, I got to hang out with some of the staff members that he was with. And Corey, who is now my wife, was on staff with Tim that summer. And so I got to just hang out with Tim and Corey and about a dozen other people that day, just hanging out. So I initially met Corey that summer through my brother. And then I went off to my senior year at the Masters University. Corey went off to her senior year at Westmont. And then after graduation, I ended up coming on staff at EVP Fullerton. And Corey, this is a long roundabout way of getting here,
good.
but she, that following summer, was on staff at Forest Home, different Christian camp,
Okay.
where our kids in high schoolers go to camp now. She was on staff that summer. Our youth group came to Forest Home because we brought students there, and I kind of re-met her a year later. And
Did you guys remember each other?
We did, yeah.
Okay.
But it was, it was like, oh, you worked with my brother last summer, and anyway, long story short, that was kind of the reconnection. And then she ended up getting her teacher's credential in Fullerton, and got involved in our youth group at Fullerton as well. And so we're in a little bit more of a concentrated ministry setting, saw each other on a more regular basis, and she was probably there for a year as a small group leader for high school girls before we started, hanging out a little bit more, concentrated, and led a team together out to Rainbow Acres with a group of our students at the time, and so she was part of our leadership team that went out there that year, and we spent more time there and realized, I really like hanging out with this girl. And she was, at the same time getting her teacher's credential and was working at Brea Linda High School, where I went to high school. And she had called and said, hey, Matt, would you want to go chaperone a dance with me? And I said, yeah, that'd be fun. Let's do it. Do you want to grab dinner beforehand? And she was like, oh, well, I wasn't thinking dinner, but now that you mention it, sure, that'd be great. And she tells the story. She hung up and she was like, awesome, like, woo! She wasn't going for that, but it turned out that that's how we ended up, spending 3 hours, on the stairs, kind of being the guardrail for the kids to not, exit the campus and go do stupid things.
That's a great first date.
So that was our first date. We went to Red Robin, and she got a chicken teriyaki sandwich on a croissant.
See, this is what I'm saying. I just cannot believe this.
I don't know how I remember
What did you eat?
But I don't remember what I ate. I just remember what she ate because she still eats it today when we go there. But yeah, so we had talked over dinner, and then we did the chaperone thing, and we talked all night long for those 3 hours, and which was so refreshing because I had come off of another relationship that was just so difficult to engage the conversation. It always felt like work, and this was so easy, and so I was just refreshed by that, kind of interaction and the ability to just talk.
Yeah.
So that was how we initially, kind of started spending more.
How long were you guys together before you got married?
We were together for a year, and we were engaged for 5 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's great.
Yeah.
As a family, what would you say stands out as like the best vacation you guys have taken the kids on and done the whole thing? What stands out?
Yeah, my favorite vacation, I think it would probably be agreed upon by all 6 of us, was a road. Well, we did 2 different road trips. And they were both to the same area. But the second one stands out the most. We went to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. You've got the sweatshirt.
Yep.
I don't. I wish I did. But
have you been to Jackson Hole? No.
Darn it.
Yeah, he's got the sweatshirt.
Let me have your sweatshirt. Come on.
I got some shirts for Hezzy.
This is part of my core memories. You should just bequeath it to me.
Yeah, give it to Matt.
Come on.
Everyone pressure Jackson to give a shirt to Matt.
My son's uncle was like, "Hey, have you been to Jackson Hole?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "No, he hasn't."
He's in the lying stage. Okay. Anyway.
But I think my kids at that time were probably, I think Brandon was like 20.
Okay.
And Evan was probably, what would that be, 15?
Yeah.
And it might have been actually 19 and 14.
Sure.
But just the time in the car, the time seeing awesome sights, the Grand Tetons, just will assault you with their beauty. Spending time at Jenny Lake, hiking up to the falls, spending time at a really, bougie, rich cowboy town like Jackson Hole, which we were not, we were out of our depth as far as that goes, but just to be in such a cool, beautiful place, to explore. And we did whitewater rafting on the Snake River. We went on a horseback ride up into the Tetons,
cool.
Which was just amazing. So some of our core family memory, at least for Corey and I, we look back on that particular trip as just a really, really sweet spot in the life of our family, and just getting to do things that,
What's the drive looking like? Like, how long does it take one way?
I think it's a 16-hour drive.
To get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're driving through Utah and Idaho and Wyoming.
Do you guys do that in one day?
I think we did that in 2. I
Okay.
think we pit stopped in Salt Lake City and then drove the rest of the way in. But it's a beautiful drive. Summer mode in that part of the country is just amazing. It's the kind of place where you think, oh, I could live here year round, and then you see pictures of it in March.
In the winter.
And you're like,
Never mind.
I will visit there in the summer.
Let's stick with our California winters.
Yeah.
Good with that.
So that one stands out, as just a really core trip for us.
That's a fun
that
one.
I will always love. Yeah.
All right. Well, my last question for Matt. I don't know if you might have one after me. You can think about one. Can you describe your job here, but as a song title?
Ooh. Oh man, this is putting me on the spot, Aaliyah.
I know. Sorry.
Describe my job here, but in a song title.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. What did Mikey say? Have you already interviewed
Well,
Mikey?
we ask everyone a little different. So we asked Mikey to
slight
describe it
Okay.
like as a food you'd order at a restaurant, which if you'd like to do that, you can.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have a clever, shepherding the flock. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah,
Like a
this is
real
dumb.
song.
Yeah. There's probably, yeah, I don't know.
Are you making
That's
a
a
song
great
up?
song.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm
Way
not
go
going to
with
try
that.
to run with that one, but
No.
yeah.
No, it's
yeah.
good.
The one area of your life we haven't talked about too much at all yet is teenage Matt.
Oh, shoot.
Paint me a
Awkward.
picture. Paint me a picture of teenage Matt. What's going on there? What are you into? How are you spending your days?
I just have my friend Luis would call me floppy because my hair was long, but I would like comb it over, and so it was
you had
just
the whole flop
and it was
going.
just it was
In
just
your eyes all the time, I'm imagining.
always pushing it out of my
Was
face.
it kind of that like
It kinda
emo
looked-
cut where it was down a
Yes,
little
it
bit?
kind of looked like Tony Hawk back in the day,
uh-huh.
and I don't know. I mean, I was quirky. I don't know. People thought I was funny. I just thought if I was to go back, I would probably just be getting dumb chills. Just if there was video to capture to capture the moments, and there is a video from that Brazil trip, and I think my kids think it's hilarious. And I'm like, oh, please turn this off. You're acting like an idiot. Yeah, I don't know. I was a youth group kid to the core. I spent a lot of time at church. I was a band geek, but I like to say I was one of the cooler band geeks. We were also in a rock band as well. So I played trumpet, in band, but
Trumpet by day, rock
I
band.
played electric guitar, with Hoover's World, which is the band named after my
That was what I was
dog.
gonna ask.
Yeah.
Named after your dog. I love that.
Yeah, and the guys in the band, like they all went off to be like successful musicians. One
really?
of them's a drummer in Nashville, and the other one, toured with a.
Would you guys write your own music?
We did, and they were probably pathetic love songs before I even knew what love was. But yeah. So,
I love it.
Yeah. So
You
anyway.
described yourself earlier as kind of introverted when you were talking about the move. Were you a little?
This doesn't sound like I am, though. I think I'm probably more introverted now than I was then. I was growing up as a little kid, and then I sort of just, I don't know,
Came out of your shell?
Came out of my shell, and mid high school, I guess, enough at least. But
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's great.
That's great. Thank you, Matt. Thanks for spending the time with us.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
He thinks
For
no
the
one's
3
watching.
viewers who are still here.
They're still with us. They're loving it. They're
Yes.
eating it up.
Okay.
And
They've
so
got
are
lots
we.
of notes.
Okay.
filled out.
Yes.
I'll
A lot
take
of people
that
have,
on faith.
as they have told people things about themselves, they've said, and you know what? You can bring me X, Y, or Z.
Yeah, they've been making pleas to the
Evan,
audience.
a fast food meal, Landon, some candy.
With Carlos, we
So-
figued out his hat size.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I mean,
okay.
people are making pitches out here. So
Okay.
hopefully there's
11
a real
and a half,
audience.
guys.
There we go. He needs
Hopefully-
some
You
new
know the
teal
color.
ones that he can bleach
Hopefully there's a
out,
real
so.
audience on the other side of this. But thanks for joining us. We're getting close here to wrapping up season 1 of Hot Seat. I hope that you've been enjoying getting to know some of our different staff members a little bit better. And big thanks for Matt being on. We'll be back with another episode next week, and we'll catch you there.
What about me?